Whew. All right, point conception always turns on. It's been almost no wind all day, and we've just been motor sailing, and then as soon as we got just barely south of Point Arguello, it just turned on. And yeah, now it's probably blowing like 20 knots right on our stern. We're going dead downwind, wing on wing. The boat's riding really nice, doing like 7 knots, and we finally turned the engine off, and it's actually really comfortable in here. You would never know that it's actually blowing pretty good out there. And Ruth's on the helm. She's doing a good job keeping us wing on wing, dead downwind.
You're coming too.
Join us as we grow from a building channel to a sailing channel.
One day we'll be floating in the tropics, and I'll be drinking a margarita.
Our heading is set south, and our home-built boat is getting us there.
Can't wait to show you guys.
We're Salt and Tar, and this is our life. We're happy to share, and thanks for watching. One way to tell you're getting into Southern California is the obscene amount of oil rigs polka dotting the coast. Another is rounding Point Conception.
Point Arguello sticks out quite far, but Point Conception is the notorious one.
Vandenberg Air Force Base also calls this fierce point home. The last Delta IV rocket and nearly 50 Starlink satellites were both recently launched here.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We have ignition. 2, 1. And liftoff of the last West Coast United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket.
And liftoff of Starlink 3-4. Go Falcon 9.
It's this corner in the coastline where the geography takes a sharp turn and our heading changes from due south to east, and we're picking up speed.
We definitely need a downhaul sometime in the future so we don't keep dumping all this wind. Maine is pumping. Garrett's throttling down. Might see if we can cut off the motor here soon.
Hopefully this will be the difference of us making it into Coho before dark or not. We were a little concerned because we weren't getting any wind. Now we're going way faster than we assume that we would go when we're kind of planning out a passage. We kind of just always do a 5-knot average, and then if we get some wind, then we usually do better and we make it in ahead of schedule. But if we don't get wind, we have to motor, then it's slower. So all right, let's see what it's looking like out here. How we going?
Oh, it is. I'm getting my workout. It is beautiful. We keep dipping up to like 7, 8 every now and then, but it's high 6s, low 7s, and
nice.
we're less than 10 miles from Point Conception.
Hell yeah. We're going with it, so it feels pretty mellow, but it's blowing pretty good. It's crazy down below. It's actually really comfortable.
Should still
to Coho to anchor. There's tons of kelp.
Coho anchorage is tucked in the lee of Conception, and being somewhat isolated from civilization, the marine life thrives, and the kelp reaches up from the seafloor, something we want to avoid getting tangled in. All the wishes of fair winds and following seas reached us today. Passing Coho, and we've passed Point Conception. We're officially in SoCal.
We're south of Point Conception.
South of Point Conception.
Wow.
We're not anchored yet, but how's that feel?
Pretty insane.
Especially with the weather we had today. Oh my goodness.
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
Puffed up around Arguello all the way till Conception like it always does, but that was great because it gave us awesome speed right behind us. We made up for going slower before, and now like it always does, just south of Conception, everything's laying down. It's getting warm.
Yes.
You can see the ocean like in front of us, that line where it turns to beautiful blue Southern California ocean. Back there is the dark, snotty Northern California.
Leaving it in our wake. And we had a total wind shift just a few moments ago, right as we got south of the point there.
The wind just all of a sudden dropped by like 10 knots and clocked completely around. So it went from like, well, basically right on our stern, just maybe slightly on our starboard quarter. And it was blowing maybe like, I don't know, around 20 or something like that. Maybe gusting 20, blowing like 17, something like that. But, and then all of a sudden it switched to like our starboard beam.
Our port beam.
Oh yeah, it clocked around to our port beam and it was only blowing like 10.
We must have just crossed some sort of threshold here because it just got so warm. I feel entirely overdressed. Garrett just got all the sails down, and now we're gonna navigate through some of the kelp field here and find a good place to anchor. At least for one night. Got it? Do you want me on the bow?
Yeah.
Got the hook ready. There's still some ahead of us. Okay. Okay. You're clear after this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks clear now. Wow, the wind is so warm. Wow. Two boats already here. Big kelp field. Kelp forest, more like it. First anchorage without a town on shore. Feels pretty cool. How good does this wind feel? Jeez. That's how good it feels.
It's celebration time.
I think your mom gave us this, and we waited until we got here, so we didn't have a repeat when we left San Francisco, and it prematurely popped and half of it went down the sink. The wind is warm.
We're in Southern California now. The wind is so nice and warm.
I couldn't be happier right now.
We both immediately got into our bathing suits.
And couldn't have asked for a better day. Like, the whole trip down here was amazing. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let's drink. To cruising life, feeling really real right now.
Wore out your muscles on the trip down.
I did. Woo! To you, Captain.
Thank you.
Cheers. Splash zone over here.
That's how good it is. Cheers to you too.
one night turned into a productive 3. I dug out the soup while Garrett gave some attention to a much procrastinated project, the cabin top. Some sea maintenance happened months ago and was delayed by the 300 nautical miles it took to sail to this moment.
Done?
I'm done. Done.
Done. Can do no more.
No more.
No more. No mas.
Mas.
Look what you did to my soup.
Yeah,
Some grit.
that's where everybody boards, not to get you.
Yeah. Well, while Garrett gets pumped for the day,
Ow!
I'm starting to edit. Garrett's gonna sand the other half of the deck.
So pretty stoked. Our buddy Nick over here that we know from Avila, who's a fellow boat builder, he built a badass catamaran, and he sailed over here to Coho the other day, and he just went out last night and caught a bunch of halibut and sea bass, and he needed some ice earlier, so we gave him some ice, and he gave us some big old chunks of sea bass, and so we're gonna have a good dinner tonight. It's actually been a while since we've cooked a good dinner. We've just been on the move and busy, and we've just been eating, you know, out of cans and stuff. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
So fresh. It's exciting to film.
You should probably put pants on. Everyone loves them legs. Look at them legs.
Don't look at me. Don't act like you're not impressed.
As it just whomped all the way over across the other side. Or, I don't know, smacked.
I like womp.
Whomp. That's the sound it made. It was just like whomp. Easier to get, otherwise it's all into the aft deck. and it's all into the aft deck.
Yeah, you got soup in your butt. Butt soup, butt soup, butt soup.
Let the boat rock back and forth and mix your olive oil for you.
Stopped for a lunch break, fried up a sausage. I was sitting here, and when it would start to get about ready to go, and it would start to sizzle and kind of like bounce a little bit, and then the boat would just flip it over. Didn't have to do anything. It was awesome.